It was a brutally hot day, the kind of heat that makes tempers short and patience vanish, the kind of day where even standing feels like a chore. I had just finished a long shift. My body ached. My shirt clung to my back with sweat. All I wanted was to sit, just for a few stops on this packed train. But there were no seats, every one of them taken. Bodies squeezed shoulder to shoulder, some swaying, some glaring, everyone tired of pretending not to notice each other. Then, like a small miracle, I saw an old woman slowly rise from her seat. She shuffled toward the doors, and I moved, quickly, instinctively, to claim the newly vacant spot. But when I got there, I didn't see an empty seat. I saw a purse. It sat there, right in the middle of the seat, like it owned the place. I looked around. The woman sitting by the window had her back turned, headphones in, eyes on the passing blur outside. I tried speaking. No response. She couldn't hear me, so I gestured. Still nothing. That purse wasn't moving, and neither was she. So I did the practical thing. I reached down, picked up the purse carefully, 2 fingers, just enough to lift it, and leaned in to hand it to her. That's when she snapped. Her head whipped around like I'd set her coat on fire. Eyes narrowed in disgust, voice sharp, slicing through the noise of the train like a razor. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" she shouted. I explained, calmly even, that I thought the seat was empty, that I just saw someone get up, that I was trying to hand her the bag she'd left in the middle of a seat on a packed train. She wasn't having it. "That seat's for my friend," she lied, clutching her purse back like I was about to run off with it. But I had seen the old lady sit there. I knew she had just gotten up. "There's no friend," I said. She was alone, and she knew it. But she didn't respond, just sneered and turned back to the window like I wasn't even worth her words. I could have walked away, could have found another spot to stand. But something in me, maybe the exhaustion, maybe the heat, maybe just plain indignation, refused. So I stepped forward, slowly, not angrily, not aggressively, just intentionally, 1 foot at a time, until it became clear that if she didn't move the bag, I was going to sit on it. That's when her second outburst began, louder, sharper. "What the hell is your problem?" she said over and over again, as if repetition made her right. The whole train was watching now. That was the moment where everything in me hit a limit, where the social script tore at the seams. I looked at her, really looked at her. She wasn't huge, just slightly overweight, but her presence in that moment was large, selfish, defensive, cruel, and I felt a bitterness rise in my throat. I turned to her, locked eyes, and said the words I now can't take back. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you actually needed 2 seats to be able to fit. My bad. I'll get up now." And I did. I stood. I turned. I gestured toward the seat. And an elderly woman nearby, who had clearly heard the whole ordeal, walked over and took it with a quiet smile, entirely ignoring the chaos we'd left behind. But the woman I had spoken to, she didn't go quiet. She exploded. A barrage of insults spilled from her mouth, venom and volume with no concern for who was listening. She screamed as I walked away, her face red, voice high, body tense with outrage. I didn't look back. Some people around us laughed. Others stared in disgust, and I couldn't tell if the dirty looks were for me or for her. Maybe both, because the truth is, what I said hurt. And I knew it would. It was meant to. I had been provoked, sure, but that doesn't mean I hadn't chosen violence in that moment. And while a part of me still feels like she deserved some kind of reckoning, another part of me, the quieter one, has started to wonder, did I go too far? I didn't know her story. I didn't know if she struggled with her body or if she'd been humiliated before. Maybe her bag on the seat wasn't about selfishness. Maybe it was fear. Maybe she'd had people touch her or threaten her in the past. Maybe she'd put that purse there not to save a seat for a friend, but to protect herself from strangers in a world that hadn't been kind to her. Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe she was just an entitled commuter on a crowded train who thought she could stretch the rules because no one would confront her. Still, I didn't have to go there. Not to her body, not to the thing she likely already carried shame about. I had 100 other options. I could have pointed out her lie. I could have said I'd rather stand than sit next to someone so rude. I could have called her selfish or disrespectful or childish, but I didn't. I used her weight because it was the easiest target, and that's what stings now. Because if we really want to hold people accountable for their worst moments, shouldn't we also hold ourselves to the same standard? I think about the quiet people sitting near us, the ones who didn't speak but heard every word. What if one of them was also overweight? What if they went home that night and stared in the mirror, hearing my words on repeat? Words that weren't even meant for them. I wasn't trying to wound the world, but maybe I did. And the worst part? I felt victorious. For a moment, like I had won something. Like a petty battle on a metal train in a concrete jungle meant anything. But afterward, all I felt was small. So, am I the asshole? I honestly don't know. Maybe it was a tie. Maybe we both were. Maybe that train didn't have just one jerk on board. Maybe it had two. Or maybe I just became the very thing I was trying to stand against. What I do know is this: it's easy to throw a punch. It's harder to walk away. It's easy to find the soft spot in someone's armor and aim for it when you feel wronged. But empathy, real empathy, asks more of us. Not just to understand people when they're being kind, but to try, even just a little, when they're not. And maybe next time, I'll find the strength to do that. Or maybe I won't. But at least I'll remember this moment and try not to sit in it. This story is a masterclass in emotional collision. Two strangers, two sets of assumptions, one crowded train. And in that heat, in that noise, in that moment, both of them became the worst versions of themselves. We've all been there, pushed too far, misunderstood, feeling invisible or disrespected. And when we finally hit that breaking point, it's tempting to say the thing that will sting the most, not because it solves anything, but because it makes us feel like we've reclaimed power. But here's the thing. Power isn't in the insult. It's in the choice not to use it. This story challenges us to sit with discomfort, to ask, what kind of person do I want to be when no one is watching? Or worse, when everyone is? So here's the question for you. Listeners of AITA Story Vault, have you ever said something just to wound, just because someone else struck first? And did it make you feel stronger or just lonelier? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you've ever had a moment like this, on a train, in an argument, anywhere, share your story. Let's learn from each other. And remember, being right doesn't always mean being kind. Until next time, choose your words like someone's heart is listening, because it always is.